busy, and we had a new website come in at the end of last week, and a new website is for a company that are buying out an existing company in Ascot, and they need a website. The actual existing company doesn't have a website at the moment. So they need a new website, and they're going to change all their branding over. So they're going to have some new branding. And so the most important thing for me initially was to do the basics, because although this is going to be quite a quick job, it's quite a small website, but they want the presence to go quite quickly and have an online shop in there as well, so that they can be selling all their produce online and doing their home deliveries and so on. So I've done a fair bit of preliminary work, and I've set up on my servers a new website platform, which is WordPress, and I've installed the theme and stripped down a lot of the code from the theme that I've used, because I don't want the full array of components and functions, and it just loads the back. I mean, WordPress aren't particularly fast websites anyway, and if you have a very, very heavy full function theme that sits on it, then it can slow down the load of pages and things quite considerably. So stripped out most of that, put a couple of my SEO, search engine optimizations, in there, which kind of are mine, so I'm not going to discuss about that. I do that because I know that they work, and that's one of my little trade secrets as such. But really now where I'm left is I've got a website formed. I've installed a shopping cart, which I'll come back to in a moment, but before I can really sort of brand the thing up and make it look good, obviously I have to get the logo sorted out, and need to get confirmation that I'm on the right tracks. So what I did just prior to the weekend, if I just remove that for the time being, what I did just prior to the weekend was sit down and have a think, had a chat with the client and asked them what they wanted in a logo, and they were fairly open, to be fair, and they said, well, either the wording of the company and in full, just in colours and in a design. And I said, well, why don't you actually have a shape, an actual logo shape, that becomes synonymous with your brand? And they were quite open to that, so I set about just designing a few bits and pieces, and that was my second one. This was my first one that I did, and I just, obviously their initials are JS, so I figured, wouldn't it be quite nice? I mean, they're based in Ascot. Their clientele is upmarket private schools, hotels, sort of function rooms and things like that. I just figured that they needed something a little bit better than, for example, Jimmy's Meats. We wanted to have something with an air of sophistication about it, and I thought, well, I quite like this. When I drew it, almost as soon as I drew it, and I'll be honest, I took this design inspiration from the internet. I did see something similar to this that wasn't patented or anything. It wasn't trademarked or secure, so I thought, well, okay, I'll draw my own version of it, and I ended up with that. But when I'd done it, I thought, yeah, I really quite like it. I mean, I can see that being in a relief, in an outline, as it is here, but then I thought, yeah, it does look a little bit like an American dollar sign. And when I showed the two prospective company owners, they both immediately said, yeah, looks like a dollar sign. So that got kicked out quite quickly, which was a shame, but I will store that one away in my library of logo creations, just in case I can convert it or change it or use it for something else. But I actually quite like that one. Then the owners themselves came back and they said, look, we've seen something that we quite like along the lines of this. And I thought, okay, fine. I still like the idea that it's predominantly shape, although the letters are in there, it's predominantly shape. So I copied effectively and created my own curves for what they had said they liked, and came up with this. This was pretty, this one here doesn't have the serif sticking on the end, but although these two look the same, they're quite different in a sense. So I thought, well, I'm going to put the serif on the end. That seems to just strengthen up the J, and their design had the S over the J, and I thought, doesn't quite match, because the name of the company is J and S. So why would the S be completely over the J? So I thought, well, let's just do a compromise here. The J is obviously coming before the S, but the top part of the S loops over the J and then falls behind the J as we go around, and that's the main difference between the left and right things here. And then the next thing is, which we still haven't completely decided, they actually like this. This is the one that they want to go with, maybe a couple of tweaks, but generally this is it. I think they've said to me that they like the outer circles here, and probably to put the new design into that, which is fine. But either way, you can use that on its own, standalone. You can use it in a different format, like in that circle, and so on. But it's really the colours, and imagining what that would look like on the side of what is actually at the moment a silver trade van. I'm thinking I actually quite like the black on the sort of, not even going to try and describe what colour that one is, but yeah, anyway, I like that. And then I thought, but that's reminding me of something, and I thought, no, can't use that. And of course, if you, I looked at, I just did a quick Google search on Nazi SS uniforms. Oh my god, the colours couldn't be more identical. That was the colour of the tunic top for an officer or something, and obviously the black and white. And although I think it looks really, really smart, simply cannot use it. So that one, as far as I'm concerned at least, is a big fat cross. Cannot use it. The two guys like the idea of blue. I don't dislike the idea of blue, but I think there are more. I think we could do more with that logo than just present it in blue. But what I've actually said to them anyway, with this type of logo design, it's not so much the colour and having it religiously in a blue or in a red or in a green or whatever, so long as the shape is recognizable as a brand, then we really should be able to use that in a variety of different ways. And when you think, and I'm going to get the colors wrong here, but they're obviously a butcher, so they deal with poultry, fish, I think, and meats. So I do know that there are different colours allocated to meats, poultry, and fish. So you could very easily use those colours, which I think is it red, blue, green, yellow? I don't know entirely. But you could use a variety of different colours within the same brand without actually watering down the brand. In fact, you're effectively expanding the brand. So long as when you formalise that brand on a business card or business stationery, it all looks the same and uniform, you're absolutely away. So that shape is what we want people to recognise, for an example, on the side of a van. So what I also did for them, that's in design, let's kill that for the moment, or go into Photoshop. And I did, I'm just going to drag Photoshop back over here and just expand it, otherwise I keep on clicking on the wrong program. So they have a shop premises at the moment, and this is the existing business, and this is in North Ascot. But when I looked at that, I thought, hold on a minute, the neighbouring properties have all got nice big hoardings above them, and although their premises aren't going to be open to the general public as such, they're catering butchers, so they deliver out to businesses and to homes and things. It's still important that they make the most of every ounce or every inch of advertising space they can use. So really, come on, we've got to be using that hoarding board, and we've got to be making better use of the windows and the two doors that are there. And as I looked, I can just about read what's on the window down here on Pepper Mills. I can certainly read the vet's, and I can read the vet's telephone number. I think that's a cost cutter thing that's there. And yet, although I can read JNS Meets Ascot, it's extremely uninspiring to look at, and I cannot read the telephone number or any of the other details. So I imagine myself driving past in a car, and the same thing would be true. I mean, this picture was taken on Google, and I can't read it, so if I'm driving past in a car, I won't be able to read that. So I thought, hold on, let's just see what we can do. Now, hopefully, that's my old web logos. Kill that one. Got another image here. These are those colours I was playing with. So although this is by no means where I would want to end up, it's just done together as a mock-up just to show them the power of having an impactive looking window. Obviously that's the old the first logo I did. I think the new logo will actually look a lot nicer than that one anyway, but at least you can read it. And because it's it's effectively an online and delivery type company, people are going to be finding them through the web. So rather than calling it J&S Meats, which is obviously its company name, we may as well make use of the www, because that is how 90%, I'd imagine, of customers are going to be new customers are going to be finding them. The other thing I noticed in the Google Street View is that was one of the vans that is attached to it, and it's a silver van, not a white one. Let's just go to this one, go back, that's that logo, there we go. Sorry, let's just see if I've got there's the original. So that's the van as it appears in Google Street View with J&S Meats. Yep, you can see that, no problem, but it is rather uninspiring. So I thought we can do a little bit more with that van, and obviously I've got, you can pick these up, sort of scale drawings of transits and all sorts of different types of vans, specifically for sign writers. And I thought, okay, I don't necessarily like this, but it gives them an idea as a mock-up. I think their new logo would probably sit better there. I would probably do a block colour, like some vinyl sheeting all the way across there, and put their logo into a rear quarter panel and so on. But on the actual van, I think if you can just about see that, I don't know what happens if I zoom that in, it goes a bit blurry, but I thought, hold on, that just makes it a little bit more exciting. And what I'm after, although this took me about 10 minutes, and by no means is it where I would want to end up, but what it does do, it shows that we can make something more visual. And the idea behind doing something like this is so that if you're in traffic, or if that's flying past you, most vans, general builders vans, this van, that van, they've got their writing on the side. You just become blind to it. There's just a van on the road, just a trades vehicle. Only when you see something that catches your eye and you do that double take, you think, okay, yep, that could have legs. And that's really what I'm trying to do here, or will be trying to do when I do it properly now with the actual logo, is create something that you will look twice at and spot the logo and then read what's important. And again, I've put that www along the side. It's all very well having the company name in there, but the company name really is for the for the VAT and income tax and everything else. As far as their business is concerned and sales, I want people going to www. So let's just see where we go with that. Not sure what that one is. That's one of my logos. That's my logo. That's what I was working on last week. So yeah, so this is what I've been doing. And then I think if we go back to, let's go back to Illustrator. I thought I had a copy of that in thingy, but I don't. So go back to this, and I think I've got to make a decision. That one I think I'm just going to get rid of. It's such a shame. I like the red on the black, but the colour of their van is silver. I do actually quite like that. Whether it's impactive enough, or whether I could combine that with some other red colour or black, and I don't dislike that either. It's a strange kind of yellowy green. It's a strange colour, but I much prefer pretty much the red, this yellowy green, and this kind of browny hue to that blue. I'm just not into blue. I just think we're missing an opportunity to not go with something a little bit more imaginative, and blue is a very safe shade to deal with. So anyway, let's bring the website back over, because now that I've pretty much got the go ahead on the logo, I can start to make things for the website. So where we are, is just so that I can get my spacings and I know where I am. The orange area here, I've coloured it to show me where the header is. Just in here that aren't really showing up very well at the moment is the homepage and the shop page. There's my standard logo that sits on these things until I put their logo in, and this layer slider is the brand of sliding banner that I put onto websites primarily because I like it. There's dozens and dozens of them. This one doesn't cost too much money to purchase and to buy the license of, and you only really need to buy the license if you need to use their templated banners, and to be honest, I generally make my own now. So there's that. Down here I just wanted to get an idea, so this is H tags, so basically title tags, and that's the largest font I've set on the site down to the smallest title font. Probably the biggest one needs to be a little bit bigger than that, and the smallest is fine, but those are titles. When you're using title fonts, you would normally at the head of a page start a section with an H1 tag, the biggest font, and then through that page drop down to an H2 and possibly an H3, and that just basically gives an indication to the Google search bots the importance of that page and where the important passages of text actually are, and so on. So that's the only reason I would do that. Going into the inside of the site, into the editing side, okay, I've got a plugin that's telling me it wants to do an update, and whenever I see that, okay, it's core, okay. I'm just going to do this first. So, okay, there we go, and that will probably tell me update that one. Always do updates before you actually continue to carry on doing any work on the site, because not that it should cause any massive problems, but it will most definitely avoid the prospect of that happening. So I've got some patches to apply. So WordPress updates its core files quite regularly, and if you are using a theme, however stripped down, then you need to make sure that the theme keeps up with the core files. And then obviously the software techies that are making the theme work realize that maybe they've got a technical snagging here or there that conflicts with the new updates, so they then very quickly will produce code patches that you just apply in order, and it just makes the thing nice and safe. So that's good. And if I just go back to the outside, which effectively is just refreshing that page, and then back in again, and just hover over some of those areas, the updates, there's nothing coming in there, so I would say that we are now swinging. So it's only going to be a small site. At the end of the day, they're looking to start trading as under new ownership from next month, so we've only got a couple of weeks to go. So I'm not going to build something that is pages and pages deep and thousands of words worth of text. I will be doing the copywriting and creating all the text panels, but the text panels are only going to be paragraphs, not pages long. I'm going to have to use stock pictures because I don't have any actual product pictures at the moment. I used to deal with another butcher. I used to do their website, so I do have lots of produce pictures, but heaven forbid I use somebody else's produce as somebody else's. So I think I'll just stick to stock until I can get some of my own images done. But I just want to have a look at the shop now. When you're looking at an online shop, there are very many options. You can go for a dedicated shop website. There are loads and loads of really, really good, very sophisticated online e-commerce shop sites. Whether this site actually needs to do that is debatable. So this is going to be started from scratch. There's hardly any products in there at the moment. This is a test product that just comes with a load. This shop is WooCommerce, and I say that with a bit of a grimace because it comes as part of the package with the theme WordPress. Oh, we love WooCommerce. I absolutely do not love WooCommerce. The reason I don't like it particularly is that although the core files of this shopping cart are free to use, open source to use, the moment you want to start customizing anything or making it look and feel on the page how you want it to do, even down to removing these horrible sort by boxes, and that's okay to show you, but this sort by thing is sort by popularity, sort by date, oh no really, come on. I like to get rid of those things, but the minute you want to do any customization at all, you've got to go out and buy the various modules to let you do that, and it just gets to be a lot more expensive than you originally figure it's going to be. And you would imagine that the basic WooCommerce site platform would allow you a little bit more flexibility than it does. It's just very frustrating. I mean, there is a hack that I can actually, I know obviously how to get rid of that box. Why do I want to get rid of it? I just don't like it there. It doesn't fit with the streamlining of what I'm trying to do. I just want the shop to have a nice introductory panel and then straight into product categories and straight into products. That's what people are going onto the website to look at. The number of products won't be enough to worry about sorting it by name or by price or anything else, and that's why you have category pictures up there in the first place. But this morning, that's what I've been working on, and just ironing out some tweaks on these logos. That logo is now going to be put onto the website, so that's the next task. That'll be the next video that I'll do. For now, just giving on.